It's Tuesday, June 4th, 2030. The first-year player draft will start momentarily, but for now, the Sacramento Athletics are 34 and 27. We used to be a bit better. We've slipped a bit here in the late stages of May and into June. If I go to our schedule, lost the last two against Atlanta, dropped this series against Tampa Bay, lost 5 of 6 to the Astros and Rockies. And then 3 of 4 against KC. So really a weak last couple weeks for us. The pitching is the best in the American League, surprisingly, especially after last season. The best defense in the American League. But the offense still lags behind as it has throughout this series. Now let's see what the deal is with this team right now. Pat Bresser, 4 weeks away from coming back from his torn elbow ligament suffered at the beginning of September last season, and Jace Young currently on the injured list after starting off close to an MVP candidate in his first 44 games, 165 OPS plus, recurring back spasms. The injury for Jace Young playing, almost all of his time at first base. A really good trade pickup for us with him being on the minor league, or I guess major league minimum. Did give up Sal Frelick, who's having a nice bounce back year here with the Guardians, struggling with them in 192 plate appearances after we traded him there, but not a big deal. Who else is producing? Jesus Garindo, having the best season of his career after a good 2 starts in the World Baseball Classic for Team Cuba, 2 wins for him, 2.13 ERA. Garindo, an ERA under 3 for the first time in his career right now. Obviously, the season's not over yet, but he is pretty close to the first season with an ERA under 4 since 2026, when he had a 3.85 ERA. His first 2 seasons not full in the major leagues, his best 2 seasons so far in his career. The FIP will probably catch up with him at some point, a 3.53 FIP. But he's been our best starter so far, and we've needed him. Cody Funderburk, one of the best relievers in baseball right now. On track to pitch nearly 100 innings out of the pen in 74 games is what he's on pace for. 1.53 ERA, FIP about a half run behind that. Still a 1.91 though. And he has really turned it on ever since I threatened to get rid of him. He has been with us now since 2025, after we claimed him off waivers from Minnesota. And like I said, the last 3 years, ever since he turned 31, he's been a different player. But he's the best player out of the pen for us right now. Hunter Brown, decent year as a starter, a good shot of finishing as an above-average starting pitcher this season, which is exactly what we wanted from him after giving up Emerson Hancock, who right now is having a fantastic season in Colorado. One of the best seasons you'll see from a Rockies pitcher at age 31. 3.17 ERA. The FIP is almost equal, so this is legit. I don't know how he does it with these ratings, man. The K per 9 is up to 7.2, allowing basically no home runs in Colorado and walking guys kind of basically on the rate that he has. I couldn't have predicted that he would do something like this, and maybe he doesn't do that for us this year, so we're okay giving him up. Jeremy Bassnagel's still in AAA for us. Wilkerman Gonzalez, 3.11 ERA. He was incredible the first few months of the year, if I remember correctly. I don't remember correctly. He's turned it on in May. I haven't picked this up in about a week. He's turned it on in May, and another, shrewd pickup from the Angels. He's a Boston guy right now in real life, but Vargas now with Boston. He signed with them in free agency. An average hitter, and then we traded Trent Grisham, who's on a minor league deal for us. Who cares? And we got Barrera and Gonzalez. Barrera has come up in a short burst and was very bad, but he'll be back up at some point. And Gonzalez has been a very solid number 2 starter. And surprisingly, Roansy Contreras, these guys are the reason that we're the best pitching staff in the American League, but Contreras has not been our best pitcher. It's been Gurindo. But Contreras, 3.49 ERA. The FIP is trailing behind, kind of concerning, but he's a free agent after the year, so we're just banking on him being really good right now. And then Carlos Rodriguez finally, bad season FIP wise, but the ERA has yet to catch up to that with our good defense. 3.56 ERA for Rodriguez. He came over last season, in the off season for Cozart and Acosta, and Acosta's not doing great, and Cozart is now with Philly after San Diego waived him, and he's not doing too much. So those are our starters. TJ Brock in the closer role. I don't know why the ERA, why is his R WAR so much lower than his F WAR if his R WAR, if he has a lower ERA than FIP? I don't understand that. And he's striking guys out, nearly a career high, I would have to guess, at 11.6. Yeah, a career high if this holds. Nearly 12 batters per nine, and near career low in walks per nine with this 45 control, something to keep an eye on. But he's been very good for us. On track for 42 saves, just kind of flipping what we had with Mason Miller. And Mason Miller, who has since signed with the Atlanta Braves a 1-year, $4 million contract, and has just kind of fallen off since we got rid of him. He is no longer a quality player, so we traded him at the best possible time. And we picked up Tim McFarland, who's up with us now. He's played 23 games, hasn't hit well yet, but you can see he was a 45 potential, I think, when we traded for him. Maybe a 50 potential, just had been scouted that way. And he has done nothing but improve. The power potential has come up, and he's fulfilled it. He has been kind of a revelation, and we hope that he can do it with his bat, with what his ratings suggest he's able to do. And he's hit every way, or he has hit at every stop on the system. So we'll see what he can do. And he went to Flagler College, which is in St. Augustine, Florida. I didn't even know, or I guess I did know they had a baseball team, but that's funny that he came out of there. I was just there in December. Huascar Yanoa is pitching like a stud. If, Funderburk is our best reliever, it's not by that much. Excuse me, with the way Yanoa is pitching. He's made one start, but come out of the pen almost exclusively. And he's been fantastic. So our fans are happy about that. He's a very popular local player. He's been an all-star for us before. Happy to see him succeeding. Mitch Spence, the FIP not great, but the ERA 2.90. Compared to last year, he's not striking out as many guys, and the home runs have been a problem. But I expect that to come down a bit. And a $2 million contract, sure. It's all good with Mitch Spence. Nick Frasso, finally putting together a good season FIP-wise, 3.17, but the ERA falling behind, although 11.1 Ks per 9 right now, and he's got a negative R WAR. I don't understand that. This would be by far, I think, his career mark. Yeah, by almost 2 Ks per 9. Very low home runs and very low walks for Frasso, finally putting it together at age, 31? Yeah. Bishop Letson is now up with us. I forget who he demoted. I'll have to check. Like I said, I last picked this up a week ago. And he's been very good so far in AAA this season, so I brought him up to the big leagues. If you remember, we traded for him at the deadline in 2028 for Tyler O'Neill. Barrios, also in the minor league system, Hedberg Perez and Chris Winters still around, but Winters, he's kind of fallen off. But O'Neill was a free agent after the year. Letson hasn't pitched yet with the big league club. Christopher Sanchez, just kind of average. And Jorge Marcheco, after being an all-star a season ago, is also average. Now, what pitcher did we send down? Was it Joe? Yeah, it was Joey Estes, I think. No. Okay, well, he's pitching well in AAA as well. Who did we send down? Was it Reggie Crawford? Yes, it was Reggie Crawford we sent down for Letson. Crawford was struggling for us, and we hope he can be better. Did I make any transactions? I don't think I did. To jog my memory. Oh, yeah, we released Jose Suarez. He was extremely bad. 7.53 ERA and 14 1/3. He was angry. I just didn't want to deal with it. He's since signed with the Los Angeles Angels, who he came up with and is with in real life. Um, but yeah, he wasn't there for us, and it's okay. He's on the minimum, and we moved on from him. Reggie Crawford was then called up. Crawford struggled, brought up Letson. To the lineup. The offense is struggling. Austin Charles is our best hitter that's active. Chase Young is up there, but he's hurt. And Charles has continued to just kind of produce after we got him for AJ Vukovic, who's actually finally now putting it together for KC. But Charles has given us 3 MLB seasons of good utility production. And so happy to finally see him succeeding in a full-time role with the injuries. Braden Montgomery, 137 OPS plus, another great addition. He has been an all-star level hitter ever since we acquired him from the Tigers, and that has been good news considering our offense just hasn't been tremendous throughout this simulation. Denzel Clark, on pace to be a 3-WAR guy. Struggled in the World Baseball Classic for Team Canada, but he's hitting at the Mendoza line. However, still a Gold Glove caliber center fielder, yet to win a Gold Glove, though, and I hope that he would soon. We haven't been stealing too many bags, and he's been kind of a victim of that. He's got really great ability, but only on track for 11 if this season were to hold like this. And the power, after 18 home runs a year ago, now 11. He's had some really interesting variance in how many home runs he hits season to season. Like he's got, maybe 20 homer power, showcase that in 2 seasons, but then the other seasons are like, is he going to get to 10? Maybe he gets to 5. Part of that, he doesn't play whole seasons, but hasn't been hurt yet this year. Knock on wood. Clark, still love him, though. He's a free agent after the year. Manuel Pena, league average hitter, great defense. That is a solid player, and he'll be in arbitration next season, which is tough, but he's been very good for us. Bobby Hunter, in his first full, or I guess last year was a full season for him. Gosh, Hunter's been good. Good defense at first base, so another shrewd pickup from the Giants. Alfredo Duno is our starting catcher and has not experienced great success. Suzak is with the Orioles and is hitting poorly. Let's check on our big 3 that we moved on from. Suzak, not doing great. Henry Bolte, also not doing great for the Pittsburgh Pirates, still on track for a 36-homer season. And Lawrence Butler with the Arizona Diamondbacks is on pace to do what he does. But I think, moving on from those 3 guys and only having one come back to bite us, and the one guy who's coming back to bite us, we traded for a young superstar of our own, potential superstar, I should say. You should see, you see Max Clark right now, not a great player so far, now on his 3rd major league organization. Good defense in the outfield, but it should be better with his ratings. Still happy about that trade, though. We are the Athletics. We need to sacrifice, really talented players for years of team control. Duno, I'd like him to be able to pick it up, but we'll see. Gabriel Martinez, another guy who's had a few chances with us and has not really taken any of them and run with them, although he did hit well in a short stint last year. We just didn't have room for him. But now getting a bigger role, finally crossing 100 plate appearances in a major league season. We can see what he does throughout the year. We don't really have an option to replace him, and he's not hitting poorly. So Martinez, would like to see him, do better. We'll see. Gregory Barrios is up with the big league club, and he's listed at shortstop. He's more of a second baseman. I think that was because he was starting over Pena, which I just don't agree with. He's not as good of a hitter as Manuel Pena is. Tim McFarland talked about him. Clark, Nunez struggling right now at shortstop. That is why I had Barrios there, just to give league average production with the bat, with Nunez faltering. Connor Griffin has struggled. Already gone past his rookie limit. He's 24. He's almost fully developed. He's hit every step along the way, but he just is struggling right now, and it's tough. He was mashing in AAA, so we'll see if he can put it together. He's got a high BABIP. Nothing's really out of the ordinary. He's striking out in 33% of his plate appearances, not walking nearly as much as we're used to seeing him do. But it seems that when he steps up to a new level, the strikeout rate kind of takes a hit. He hasn't really had a whole season anywhere except for Double-A here, and he struck out 38% of his plate appearances. It's just kind of a thing with him, I guess. So we'll see if he can cut the strikeouts down. It's got to happen for him to be a complete player. This is what I was worried about when I redrafted him, because we passed on him in the first draft of the series because he was a high school bat. He developed, went to LSU. Yeah, I don't know. Roman Anthony, similar story, striking out in 40% of his plate appearances, although only had 35 of them. But he's got really interesting potential, although he's 26, so who knows if it comes along. But he's out of options, so I just kind of have to stick it with him and see if he can turn a corner at any point. Down in AAA, Alec Thomas hitting well on a minor league deal. Mauricio Albaladejo, goodness gracious, 75. Like, he's a fantastic defensive shortstop, and I mean, if he can be 45s and all these hitting tools, he can have a role with how good defensively he is. But for some reason he hasn't played, or I guess I just promoted him from Double-A. So 146 OPS plus in Double-A, very good. And he'll probably be up at some point this season at age 23. Aaron Bracco down in AAA, he struggled in only 38 plate appearances. He'll probably be back up at some point. It's just Charles, has not allowed him to be back up, and I don't really need Barrios. So I'd rather, we need the offense. I don't give a shit about the defense. Oh, sorry, I swore. I haven't sworn at all in this series. So we can move Charles to. He's been playing shortstop. They've been putting him at shortstop, which has been pretty funny. I'm surprised he can't play second base. I might just commission her because, like, if he's been playing shortstop, that's just an oversight by me to not train him at second base. Just give him like 75 experience, because he's like a decent second baseman, not great, but enough to give us some versatility. All right, that's a move I'm happy with. Jacob Wilson is down here as well, and he's hitting well. He might come up at some point. Ronald Hernandez. Played a little bit, but Joe Little is in AAA, and he's tearing it up. He will be up at some point. Now at age 23, our first-round pick a year ago. The control worries me, but he's almost a complete pitcher, and that was why we took him as early as we did. Henry Mendez. Who else? Chris Sinclair has a shot to make the big league club at some point. He's 21. He's tearing up Double-A in his second season there. Grady Emerson, 40-man eligible now, or I guess needs to be on the 40-man. Hasn't been able to hit really anywhere unless he was very advanced for the class. And he it's been a steep learning curve for him in Double-A. Anybody else warranting conversation? Phil King doing well. Juan Carrillo. Ernesto Garces, I don't know about him, man. He's got this great glove, but he can't hit. And then rookie ball guys. So, on to the draft. Anything else I can check? Joe Little, the 33rd prospect in baseball. Josh Mallard at 94. Our only two in the top 100. We're back down into the lower third of MLB rankings, but we're still, improving every year and on track with our preseason predictions of winning the division, I believe. Close to 90 wins, I think, was the projection, or slightly over it. We're almost selling out Arco Park in Sacramento. Still of the lowest payroll in baseball, but a lot of money coming off the books for next season, and we can add a lot with our budget going up nearly exactly $24 million. Yeah, so we're a game out of the division. We were, until that skid, leading for almost the entirety of the season thus far. We are not the best team in baseball. That's the Boston Red Sox. In the National League, the Cubs. Walker Jenkins, 22 homers. Look at Minnesota back to being, the La Bamba? I forget what that nickname was in, 2019 when they hit all those home runs? Look at Walker Jenkins, man. Another guy the Tigers passed on for Max Clark. God, I hope that he works out, because Jenkins has been incredible in 5 seasons. But kind of a Byron Buxton type, gets hurt. Royce Lewis, another guy who gets hurt. But that's what the Twins love, man. They just love getting guys who could possibly be hurt, but if they play, they play. Xavier Isaac, I had a chance to trade for him. I didn't want to. J.J. Weatherholt, former first overall pick. Xavier Edwards, former Sacramento Athletic in his second season in Seattle, vying for the batting title, 341 average. Vladdy, Colt Keith, Jackson Jobe, having a great year. Anybody else we know of? I mean, these are all guys that I know of in real life, but any other guys that are related to us? Hiroshi Yamasaki, in his first season in Major League Baseball, he was a Japanese automated free agent. Also challenging for the batting title, kind of an Ichiro. Well, he's a more complete hitter than Ichiro, I would say. I mean, no, you can't say that. Ichiro just hit a lot of singles and was a much better defender than this. But he can give you walking, a little bit of power. 170 OPS plus for Yamasaki. Who's Porter Hodge, 29 years old. Cubs draft pick in 2019. Kind of an average guy, but just on fire to start the year. Okay. Leading the National League in ERA. All right, let's get into the draft. So, I don't think I've said it, but in the lottery, we moved up from number 14 to number 6 with a St. Louis Cardinals comp pick bumped down to 7, but that is still 7 spots higher than we were supposed to be. Thank you, Draft Lottery, rewarding a small market team for trying to get to the playoffs. So we'll have a decently high pick as we push towards the playoffs. Who am I looking at? Let's go on to our short list. I have our draft board filled out. Juan Meza. Not a second baseman. He's a first baseman. Very interesting hitter with the contact and the power. Almost 19, though. The avoid Ks coming up is promising to me, but the power and the eye kind of lagging behind is a little bit concerning. Chris Brady, another guy who's a first baseman. More power, a little bit farther along, but he's the same age. I don't think I came to a decision the last time I looked at this. Sigve Markussen, who I wonder if that's what like Scandinavian country that is. He's from Nebraska, committed to Texas Tech, only wants $2 million, just short of $2 million. He is the same age as the other two guys, but he's a bit farther along. But maybe does not have, the really raw tool or the really high potential tool that Brady or Meza has. But the thing about him is that he can actually play a position other than first base. He can be a first baseman or a corner outfielder. And so I think if I had to pick between these three guys right now, with Meza's power and eye lagging behind, Chris Brady's avoid Ks worrying me, I would take Markussen out of the three. 6'6", 200. Jim Anglin, 6'6", 200 again, but 19, and he's not that far along. Jim Caker from Utah. He can really hit a sacrifice bunt. He's a lefty, and Markussen's a lefty. This one's going to be tough. Markisson's got better tools than Caker. So Markisson's the pick right now if I keep going down the list. I'm only going to pick guys that are 60 potential and above. So let's do process of elimination. Not going to take Wheat over him. Pearson is the other interesting guy. I think I remember. He's 17, nearly 18. Not a shortstop, but a third baseman or a second baseman. The contact is worrying, though, and the avoid Ks is worrying, though. So you're taking the risk, but he is 17. And then Jared Baker's the college bat. Actually, JUCO bat, right? No, he's 20, but he's going to be 21. This is what you have to think about now. And LaValle is a second baseman. University of Michigan. Jake De La Cruz. No. John Buckley. No. Okay. So it's between Markisson and the two college bats. Obviously, recent schools of thought say that you take the college bat here, that it's a sure thing. And I think that is right. Markisson, though, he's a good-looking player, but these guys, being this far along right now and still having 60-grade tools, I think means something. So I think I'm going to take one of these two. The question is which one. LaValle can kind of play everywhere, but he can't play anywhere super well except second base. I mean, he's going to be a first baseman, if not at second. He's got work ethic. Baker does too. Baker can steal bases. Markisson can as well. This is tough. He's just so far along, and he's an infielder. And pretty soon, well, we're going to need a lot offensive. I can't draft for need right now. I can't think about that. Baker, I don't like this low contact, low avoid Ks profile. I do like the other one better with LaValle, and he's still going to offer enough pop to make it worth it. And he's hit in the draft league. That's the thing about Baker. He hasn't been in the draft league. And to me, that proves something. So I'm going to take LaValle. All right, let's see. We're still in the first overall pick, so we got a draft. Jeff Christie goes first overall. These aren't these are the 80 potential guys that I have an eye on because we have limited money. Terrell Hamill, Mike Warren, who is an interesting college pitcher, but he's out of our pay range. Creighton Snacks Curtis, that's a great name, but he wants $10 million, so no thanks. From Iron Mountain, Michigan, though, up in the UP. St. Louis, Danny the Dominator Moss, $12 million signing bonus. And Toronto, Ian Hersman. So none of our players get taken. This guy's a 3-pitch pitcher that wants an $11 million signing bonus. So who is still available here that's kind of within our budget? I'm not taking these two. I'm not taking high school players for that much money. So we'll go back to our list. And then I think we're going to take... They want us to take Cody Lucas, who wants $13 million and is a first baseman. No thank you. What about pitcher? Ernie Rhino Martin, $10 million. No thank you. From New York, New York. We're going to take LaValle and save $5 million. Out of the University of Michigan. Go blue. Did our outfielder stay? No. Sad. Chris Broom, though. Pookie. His nickname's Pookie, man. Come on. I think we got to take Pookie. Jim Anglin. Jim Caker's interesting. Pearson's still here. But Chris Broom, I got to take Pookie. I can't not take Pookie. We're trying to win now. Tell me that Pearson's still here. No, he's not. So I think now we can take Kager. Although, no, he's almost 19. Yeah, we'll take Kager. He's pretty far along. Oh, I hit it on batters only. Well, safer anyways. But John Bateman, we are going to select. Thank you very much. Um, these are pretty advanced high school pitchers. I like Brad Stroud. But I do like Nate Gallagher. No, Brad Stroud's a better player. Okay, that's 5 rounds. That's good enough for me right now. I'm going to finish off the draft, and I will be back around the trade deadline with an update. Thank you for watching. Catch you later.